So, do we consider Wolfsburg's favorites? I can't really say. It looks pretty even to me. 240 is market, what I saw here. So, there was not an indication. Right? I can also check out if, okay, here, I checked, I ticked some of them which I wouldn't mind right now. So, if they stay there. Malmö against Chelsea. It's a 125 average, that's 120. What computer says here, 122. So we're not gonna bet this. No indication. Bayern against Benfica. Here the computer says chances are clearly less. Good for Bayern, which I wouldn't fully sign. I mean, Bayern have been just cruising everywhere and beating everyone. But they also lost 0-5 in Gladbach, and they also had a hard time at Benfica to even scoring the first goal late in the game, 70 minutes maybe. But Benfica had two very good chances at least. And I think a 146 is pretty fair, as the computer says. If market is so low, then I would even consider going with Benfica for 5.0. It's very high price, very little chance, but computer would say chances are better than they all think. I know Champions League is special, so maybe it's an easy task for Bayern. I don't know, but they won so many games, so maybe dropping a point here or there doesn't harm them too much, right? They will still go through. In the Juventus, it's 153. I thought about betting it. The price was 157 yesterday, but computer sometimes can also tell me better. I mean, teach me some. It's 168 true price, so respecting Zenit a bit. Juventus struggling a bit, so we don't go for this. But my order here is maybe a better one. Barcelona, we have a true price of 153. Of course, market at the moment saying they are no good. Now we even have a price of 170 because they all say they can't play. I wouldn't confirm it because I watched them and a couple of times, and I think there is a high potential, and at some point they will show it. But of course, it's lower without Messi or whatever. The problems are there, but still they are good enough. And especially Kiev never convinced me or did anything impressive to me, right? In the Atlanta Manchester United, pretty even game, but the goal expectancies are too low. Are they too low? Well, this is at least what the computer says. With its kind of logic, here I would accept that it's... here we would have a very high price on the draw, so I would even add this to my list because 273, 370, there maybe my calculation is no good, but I saw the first leg as well here, and Atlanta, they were winning even, Atalanta, sorry, they were winning even 2-0, they lost late on 3-2, they played very well after the 1-2, they were closer to the third, but of course, I'm not saying the draw because it went up and down, so it's not very likely draw. But still, if two teams are close to each other, and then the draw should be a bit more likely than they say here. That can still be confirmed, but I know it's well. Computer says it's more likely, and I think as well after Manchester United won the first game, they could even be a bit content with a draw, maybe. They won late on against Villarreal as well, so they collected enough points. Villarreal market confirmed my assessment that this is too big a price. 152 that was here yesterday, you still see that. The 140 are still good enough. I know, of course, 152, 140 is a huge difference, but computer still says it's okay. I do not really want, so I have been through these. Sevilla 167, market says 162, I think, so there's no indication. I'm happy with that. 162 sounds, 167, 162 sounds like a proper price to me, so I wouldn't bet it for this. As soon as it's bigger than 167, I might go with them, but otherwise I don't. In the Milan-Porto, I also saw the first game. I mean, if I say I watched them, quite often I watch the game after they had been played. So when I do not know the results yet, I'm not looking at the results. So I'm watching them afterwards, so as if they were still live. Sometimes up to 4, 5, even 6 matches, which is also some fun. And here I have to say, Porto was so good that I have to support them. I know this may be the day when they do not perform so well, but in this case, I selected the X2. It's also in harmony with my computer, because I'm paying like this, something like 220, and I could lay like 237. That's what the computer says here as well, with a low goal expectancy, but it had been confirmed in the first leg as well. I would say that it's rather an under here. I like Milan as well. They beat Roma 2-1 away, which I also watched 90 minutes. But they are not so superior. I mean, they are a good side, but Italian football is good. But we see that there are better ones, right? The Spanish football also struggling at the moment. It's all English. And Bayern Munich, of course, and the English teams. But of course, there are, I mean, Italy and Spain are not way behind. France with PSG, but no one else there. Really, Lille, struggling. Anyway, yeah, I would have to do that, although I do not like it. And also, Atletico, I have to say, they should be able to put up some resistance there. Computer says even 252, which is ridiculous. I agree on that computer says with Atletico few goals, and there with the settings, I'm not quite happy. I have to admit that. It's not easy to correct that mistake, but or this evaluation. Because where would I start? The average of the whole competition or of these two teams, which makes it always a bit difficult. Where would you start, right? But anyway, I accept the superiority, which means something like 2.0, maybe the proper price. It sounds a bit too much after watching Liverpool, because they were pretty good, but they dropped a point or two against Brighton when they couldn't hold on to a 2-0 lead. They always conceded goals. Atletico actually not in such awful shape. Also, so it's fine. In the Man City, we do not argue really about Brugge having a chance. Real Madrid against Shakhtar, there I would even argue. I'm going the wrong order somehow, right? In the Real Madrid, I think I have even the indication here. We saw that game last season as well, and even Shakhtar won the game, even with 12 players missing. But they lost heavily at home to Real. But I think they are competitive. Of course, it is a bit ridiculous after the results. But if you see a price of 5.0, 4.1, they are hard to hit. But if you hit them, you get a lot of money. It's a tough one. But watching Shakhtar or seeing them play, I think they should be able to put up some resistance. And which was the one we didn't talk about. The Inter is pretty fine here. I think computer says 133. This is fine. I bet them in the first leg. They won 3-1. Still, I wasn't such an easy win or so, right? And we didn't talk about Dortmund. Okay, now I see we have some more games. That was my problem. Manchester City, I had to say once again, I mean, they are also not fully stable, but right, this game in the Champions League, they played so well, winning 5-1 on the road, and Brugge also were impressive. Somewhere 6.7, even more than these 5.0, 4.1, right? But they should be able to put up some resistance, but they were so outclassed in the first one, 5-1. I mean, then you say, okay, I win with it 1.1, but remember they beat other good sides. They beat drew with PSG and beat Leipzig. So. And they are not out of the competition, so it's an important game, but surviving here means keeping their chances alive. If they lose, still alive, but then it's a lot more difficult. And PSG 235 computer likes. I would not really like it. Paris not playing, PSG not playing so well. well, actually RB are struggling in the Bundesliga, but their efforts look a lot better. I mean, still it's PSG, and I mean, there should be a lot more potential, but they are not struggling in the league, but they are struggling somehow in every single game a bit. When you think, well, you wouldn't. Before the competition, there was even the discussion PSG top favorites or Man City, and there was even PSG after the signing of Messi. But now you would say, well, that's a huge difference, but market would still not adjust the prices too much. So this, if we had the level of Man City, then we would instantly say, very good bet, you wouldn't even get 2.0. But now it's PSG, they are so bad, 2.35, I don't know. Anyway, this is my verdict on this one. We had to do that. We also, well, what else would we do? Not 1.10 on this Man City, although it looks easy. Borussia Dortmund and Wolfsburg, I instantly compared. The prices had been the same. Market says, no, this is all Ajax. I think they are very much the same, the game still. And computer confirms me here by saying this is 262 true price and 266. It's even a bit bigger on Dortmund, which market confirms as well. Here we wouldn't have a bet unless it would be a draw. Well, I mean, of course, Ajax would not be that unhappy with a draw after winning the other one. But so the 3.60, should I say? Well, I mean, it feels like there could be some goals coming and so on. But Dortmund also didn't convince me against Cologne, although they won. Well, okay, Sporting is going down, so even computer would say, well, give them a chance, Besiktas. So we would, this is 188 with a pretty low goal average, whereby this is not ridiculously low. Of course, Besiktas do not have a real chance in this competition. Still, they would fight and try, and they play Champions League. And Sporting are not the side, I wouldn't compare them with Porto or Benfica, not at all. And especially not this season. But, of course, this Besiktas are no good and losing all their games. Still, it's the easiest one they could get here, right? I mean, this is what my computer would just sign, and then you can still make up your mind and think about it. Okay, thanks anyway. I've trying to introduce the tool, discussing the games a bit, and going through a bit football understanding, news or whatever it is. But this I like, but I would be very careful with the bets here. If there are indications, of course, we can check that later. But this Champions League is very special. And so thank you anyway for watching, and leave your likes, comments, and subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free. And of course, very welcome to sign up for the tool, which is a free version available, so you can try the first steps. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye-bye.